Venezuela has cut off energy ties, and in fact, they have accused a neighbor of betrayal. You're watching Times XP. My name is retaliatory, and a tanker, nearly 2 million barrels of oil intercepted at the sea, and now a regional fallout that could shake the Caribbean. Caracas is angry, by the way, very angry. Venezuela has just toned up its energy agreements with Trinidad and Tobago. The reason? Here, Caracas says that the island nation helped the United States seize a Venezuelan oil tanker off its coast. The Maduro government is calling it piracy, and it says it will not stay silent. Let me tell you what really happened here. So last week, the U.S. forces intercepted a tanker named Skipper, and that too near Venezuelan waters. The ship was carrying around 1.9 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil. Here, Washington says that the tanker was sailing under a false flag, had past links to sanction-busting oil smuggling. In fact, the tanker, it was legally seized under a U.S. court order, but Venezuela, they tell a very, very different story. Here's Venezuela's accusation straight and sharp. In a fiery statement, Venezuela accused Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Kamala Persad-Basesa, of turning her country into a U.S. aircraft carrier aimed at Venezuela. Strong words, deliberate words. Caracas says that Port of Spain was complicit and not innocent. And because of that, Venezuela has immediately cancelled all gas supply negotiations, all energy contracts, all future talks under a decade-old Energy Cooperation Pact. You know why this matters? So Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago, they share valuable gas reserves near their maritime border. At the center of all of this, the Dragon gas field, a massive reserve in Venezuelan waters key to Trinidad's energy future. Well, it is now frozen. The agreement signed years ago, it was just renewed. But in one move, Caracas has pulled the plug. Well, this fight did not start today, by the way. Tensions have been building for months now. Maduro accuses Trinidad's leadership of a hostile agenda. Venezuelan officials have warned of a false flag operations here, claims that the US could use Trinidad as a launch pad for the attacks. And reminder here, just weeks ago also, the US quietly gave Trinidad permission to negotiate gas deals with Venezuela despite the sanctions. And now that door has slammed shut. Now here's the US factor, which is, by the way, rising military heat. On the very same day Venezuela made its accusation, Trinidad confirmed it that they are allowing the United States military aircraft to use its airports. The US says that it's only for logistics, refueling, routine troop rotation, but Venezuela sees something much different. Encirclement, surveillance, pressure. Specifically, after advanced radar systems were installed, joint military exercises were increased. US warships appeared nearby. So in the end, this is not just about oil, not just about gas. This is about sanctions, about sovereignty, and about who controls the Caribbean Sea lane. The US is tightening surveillance on so-called ghost ships used to bypass sanctions. Shipping routes are changing, nerves are rising, and Venezuela is feeling cornered right now. Well, a seized tanker has now become a diplomatic earthquake, an energy shock, a security flashpoint, and the Caribbean, once really calm, is now strategic, tensed, and militarized.